What is up, duelists? Welcome to a little bit of a different video than usual, which I'm not really used to doing. So I did make some bullet points on my screen just so I don't lose track. So if it ever seems like I'm not talking directly to the camera, that's because I want to upload this video unedited if possible. And I did write down some things, so excuse me. But things are going to change on this channel and also on Twitch. But before anyone's worried, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop playing. I'm not going to stop streaming or anything like that. There's no big drama, but there are going to be some meaningful changes with how I want to play this game, and that's going to have some impact on my stream, my YouTube, and you are a big part of that, my viewers. And so I want to update you guys and tell you a little bit about how I'm feeling about the game at the moment and what that's going to mean moving forward. And it's always like this period after the season ends, after the World Championship. It's a special season to me where I reflect on how things have been going recently and how Worlds went and how I'm feeling about myself and so on and so forth. And maybe part of it is also I did turn 30 yesterday, so maybe that plays a role in it. But yeah, let's get into it without any further ado. I have been feeling very differently about like Master Duel versus TCG recently. And this is something that anyone who's watched my Master Duel streams in preparation for the Master Duel World Championship, you'll have noticed the way I've been feeling about Master Duel. And I don't want to ramble about that too much, but like it also just happens that I really enjoy the TCG right now, and that's got me thinking, I've been so focused on Master Duel in recent years, and I've always tried to cover both Master Duel and TCG as much as possible. I went to all of the TCG tournaments, but I also streamed Master Duel a lot, and of course participated in Master Duel World Championships 3 times in a row now, which is something I'm incredibly grateful for, even this year where I didn't qualify myself, but it was Quantal inviting Emra and myself back, which was awesome. It was awesome to be part of Master Duel Worlds, even though I don't really like the format at the moment. But like, this is something that instead of always having it clash in my head between like TCG and Master Duel for content, I wanna take this and use it more as like or view it more as an opportunity instead of like a competition, where it's basically I'm being presented with 2 options. I'm being presented with TCG and Master Duel as ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and I can always pursue the one that gives me more enjoyment and more fulfillment. Now, the one thing I don't want to do anymore as much moving forward is always choose the one that gets the better numbers in terms of YouTube and Twitch, because that recently it has been Master Duel for me personally, but that I feel like it's also a little bit of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because Master Duel is always the one that's easier to make content for, visually as well. Like, it's just a more visually appealing thing. Log on, play the game, talk about the game that you're playing. It's super easy, super convenient. But I have realized, that is no longer the thing that I enjoy the most, at least at the moment. We'll talk about more about my plans for Master Duel in the future in a second. But just for now, understand that like in recent times, I just haven't been vibing with Master Duel as much as I have with the TCG. Like, whenever I had TCG tournaments, and especially the current TCG format, I've just been enjoying it so much more. I've been looking forward to playing it more, and therefore I have reached a conclusion that is what I want to focus on at the moment. And I have decided that I want to commit to the Worlds grind in the TCG for the next season, and that is obviously going to be heavily impacting my content as well, because I can't just be focusing on Master Duel as much with the upcoming season. Because another thing that I've been struggling with in the past year or two is work-life balance. It might sound trivial to someone who, streamer, right? Like a real job, haha. But I've been struggling with it. I've been streaming a lot, and I haven't really had time off. If anything, the time I had off was to travel to either tournaments or other content creator related things. Like, whenever I got to travel to Windsor for Konami related work, that was always really fun. But basically, the only times I really had time off was also Yu-Gi-Oh related and also content creation related a lot of the times. Like when I would travel to tournaments, it would involve partially creating content and so on and so forth. And it really wasn't much outside of like, I would take a day off here and there if I didn't feel like streaming, or if I was sick, but like if you're sick, it doesn't really feel like you actually have, time off that you use to like recover and stuff. And so I've been struggling with that a little bit, because one thing, I mean, being self-employed as a streamer has a lot of positives that I'm really happy about. Like, for example, I can choose, in theory, when I stream and when I work. Basically, I can take time off in theory whenever I want to. In reality, though, it kind of like gives you this feeling of like, whenever you're not streaming, you feel like you should be streaming and you should be making money right now, because you're not. And because you get to choose, you always feel like you're letting people down when you're not streaming. People will be in my Discord and be like, "Oh, is there no stream today, Sag?" and so on and so forth. Which, of course, no. I mean, I'm happy to see that people want to watch the stream, of course. Like it, but it does create this sort of situation where you kind of wanna stream always, basically, and you never want to take time off, and that's been taking its toll on me. And even though I did, for example, I did fine in a lot of the tournaments I entered, but I always feel like I could have spent more time preparing. But then whenever I would spend time preparing, it would be time that I wouldn't take the time to prepare for tournaments. I wouldn't take that time off of my streaming time. I would take it off of my free time, quote unquote, right? Like I would try to sacrifice as little stream and work time as possible for any of the other things, and which always basically meant I would take it off of free time. I wouldn't really take many days off to prepare for Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. Of course, like before I go to a YCS, recently I've been taking off like a day or two before I travel. But like in general, I've been struggling with like a healthy work-life balance. And especially in regards to doing the TCG Worlds grind, which I've done in the past, and I know how stressful it can be. I've made the decision, we're going to have to adjust the stream schedule at least a little bit for the upcoming season, which for some of you is even going to be a positive, because I'll tell you the way I feel like I figured it out, and why I've changed it in that way. Because for those of you that didn't know, basically previously I would always stream 4 days a week, with occasional weekend streams whenever there was, a big tournament happening that I wanted to cover, or Master Duel Challenger Cups or other tournaments or whatever. So it usually was 4 streams a week, and then streams on the weekends occasionally. And I would usually use the Friday wasn't really an off day for me. The Friday was more a day that I would use to like coordinate like YouTube uploads, talk to my editors, prepare thumbnails, and so on and so forth. The Friday was usually a day I would use for like behind the scenes work, essentially. And the way I want to change this moving forward is I still want to stream 4 days a week on a regular, in like a normal week, but I'm going to change the days to, instead of Monday through Thursday, I'm going to change it to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. With the reason being that if I have tournaments on Saturday and Sunday, those streams will basically just be off days. And it feels like in my head that makes a difference, because previously, let's say my stream schedule was Monday to Thursday, and then I had tournaments on Saturday and Sunday. It was harder for me to just take Monday and Tuesday off. I would do it occasionally, but it would always feel bad because people expected streams on those days because they were part of the regular schedule. And with this new schedule, I feel like if there's a tournament on Sunday, I'm just naturally going to post like, hey, I'm at this tournament on Sunday. So today's stream is going to be is going to be off, basically. And people won't be like logging in on Monday and expect a stream from me, because that's not part of the regular schedule. So I can relax after the tournament, for example. And in some ways, doing the TCG grind will give me more content for you guys as well, because just by going to tournaments and so on and so forth, I'm going to be so much more involved with the TCG. I'm going to have updated deck lists. I'm going to have a lot more input to give because I'm just going to be playing the TCG more actively. I'll have more opportunities to try out different decks, and so on and so forth. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I do think, of course, by streaming Saturday and Sunday in the weeks where there's no tournaments, I will have maybe even more people that are able to tune in, because it's the weekend. Not everyone gets to watch me during the week, but only has time on the weekend. And I think for those people, it's going to be nice. Of course, I'm still going to be live during the week on Thursdays and Fridays. So people that only are able to watch me during the week will still get to do so on those days. So I feel like in some ways we get the best of both worlds there, and it's going to make it easier for me to sometimes, actually have time off when I have stressful weeks, because having these it's like there goes more into this than just like the days you actually stream or the hours you actually stream. There's a lot of stuff that I do after I end stream. I look through clips, I look through stuff to turn into main channel videos, I look through all my stuff to turn into plus channel videos. I coordinate all my thumbnails, and so on and so forth. Like there's more to it than just the hours that I'm streaming. And so like I think this is gonna make it easier for me to coordinate all that stuff, and while still be able to focus on like some free time with my fiance. Some also like I'm trying to get better at looking after my physical and mental health. That's also something I want to do more. And I feel like I've arrived at a point where if I actually want to compete in the TCG, which I really want to do, I'm so hyped to compete in the TCG this upcoming season. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to how I approach my work, basically. And if that means that in the beginning the numbers are going to be lower because I'm not streaming Master Duel all the time, which maybe is what more people want to see, honestly, I think I'm fine with that. I think I'm okay with that. I'm still going to try my hardest to bring you guys good content. I've looked into new ways to create TCG content as well. I've ordered a GoPro, for example, to record my locals and also potential regionals. I have to check with regional organizers and Konami policy to which extent I can do that. But like I'm planning to, for example, record a lot of TCG gameplay, and then instead of just uploading it without commentary whatsoever, I plan to watch it on stream and actually talk through my plays and like basically teach you guys on how I play my decks that way. So like the way I look at it is like we could be looking at something like, I'm going to publish a deck profile of a deck I played over the weekend, and then we're going to go over like maybe the 1, 2, or 3 best matches with that deck. We're going to go over those on stream so I can actually like explain how I'm approaching this deck and how you would actually be able to play it. And like in my mind, this is just good TCG content as well that I just haven't been able to make previously, or maybe I could have, but it just felt like it was too much for me to handle. And now I'm actually, motivated to look into this sort of content. So in some ways, if you're looking forward to this, this might even just be a positive change for you, because of course some streams are gonna be off because I'm gonna be going to tournaments, but those tournaments will also result in, I think, pretty good TCG content, or at least I hope so. So this is something I look forward to, and I hope some of you guys will also look forward to it. And I really hope that by putting in some work to increase the quality of TCG content, I'm able to maintain, some of these numbers that I've been having with Master Duel. Which at the same time, people have been asking, like, are you not going to play any more Master Duel at all? I will play Master Duel. I will not be taking it as seriously in the competitive sense as I did in the last 3 years. Of course, like grinding for Duelist Cups and the World Championship basically every single year. I'm still going to follow it because at the end of the day, it is Yu-Gi-Oh! And only because I don't enjoy it as much at the moment with like the power level that Malice is at, and of course Maxi existing and so on and so forth. It's still Yu-Gi-Oh! I still enjoy it, and there's still going to be good formats in Master Duel, I'm sure. Like, for example, once the Justice Hunters decks get to Master Duel, that is going to be a pretty cool format even in Master Duel. So we're still going to follow it. We're still going to like log in every once in a while. I'm going to have like Master Duel days on stream, where we check out new packs, or maybe we just play some of my pet decks, like we log in, we play some Paleo just because, that's fun to me as well. And if I have time on the weekend of a Duelist Cup, I might even try and see how well I'm doing, because I always enjoy the Duelist Cup streams as well. They're stressful, but they're enjoyable for me. And then, something like the Master Duel WCQ, depending on how it's going in the TCG Worlds grind, maybe I'll take the weekend and try to qualify for Master Duel Worlds next year. Who knows? It also is going to depend on the format. Basically, I'm just not going to force myself to do it. Like if a Duelist Cup format is Tenpai format, which it was last December, I forced myself to play it because, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh! Streamer, I'm a Master Duel streamer, got to get back to Master Duel Worlds and so on and so forth. And I really didn't enjoy that, And this is just not something I'm going to force myself to do moving forward. If I don't enjoy the Master Duel format and that there's a Duelist Cup, I'm not gonna commit to a 72-hour grind in a format that I don't enjoy, even if it means I have a slightly worse chance at making it to Worlds. Who knows? But Master Duel is not gonna go anywhere. You know, like if I will still check it out every once in a while with new releases and so on and so forth. It's basically just whenever I feel like it. For now, TCG is gonna be a bigger focus for me, which is going to be reflected in the content on Twitch and YouTube. So if you have anything that is TCG related that you would really like to see, whether it's guides, deck profiles, gameplay videos, all that sort of things, if you have anything you really want me to cover with regard to TCG content, let me know in the comments down below. If you prefer weekend streams over streams under the week, also let me know that, because that's valuable info for me. And just in general, you know, your thoughts on all of this is always very welcome. If you've been watching until this point, I assume you care about the channel, which means a lot to me. So thank you. I feel very happy about the opportunity to do this entire thing as my job. It just feels like in recent months it's been turning more and more into an actual job than, like, you know, just sharing the passion about my hobby, which is something I want to find again in these upcoming months. That's basically my main priority. I want to focus more on my enjoyment of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I feel like that is going to make for more enjoyable content at the same time. At least that's my hope. Yeah, that's basically it. If you've been watching until this point, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for getting me to this point. I think TCG is awesome right now. That's the main takeaway. That's the main reason for all of this. I enjoy TCG a lot. I want to get back into it. I want to try my best to get back to TCG Worlds next year, because watching TCG Worlds this year was really inspiring to me and really, really motivating. So yeah, that's basically all I've been wanting to say. A little bit of an update to the channel. I hope I haven't been rambling too much, but felt like a good talk. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon.